Just watched the Woodley Jake Paul fight. You gotta be kidding me. It kinda went the way you could kinda see it going, because you knew this was his first challenge. I gotta say, I thought Woodley actually did better than I thought. I know people are gonna say, no, Jake did better, he won. A lot of people were thinking Jake was going to lose, but I actually think Woodley did better than I thought personally, since his age, and he's had 4 straight losses in the UFC. And I know that's a different sport, but still, when you have 4 losses in a row, it's got to affect you. And he's almost 40 years old, so I think he's 39, or around there. So. Yeah, so this is my breakdown of the fight. I wasn't really I wasn't focusing on that was his guy's round. I didn't have a piece of paper and pen scoring the fight. I really never do that unless I'm with someone and we are doing it. If we tell ourselves we're going to score this fight. We do it when we rewatch it. Say I'm with my uncle, he's into boxing too. We'll kind of watch the fight and we'll score it, but the first time watching I never really score by I'm keeping track of who I thought won the round, but I'm not really I'm more in the moment, kind of just enjoying the fight. So I thought Jake was winning the first half of the fight. It's too bad this isn't a 12-round fight, because in my opinion that would be bad for Jake. Actually, at this point in his career, he does not have the stamina for a 12-round fight. I feel like Woodley had way better stamina. He wasn't breathing as hard, and he was more calculated with his shots. He wasn't wasting energy, whereas Jake was more of a nervous energy. He was boxing better, like I said, when he had that energy, but once his nervousness maybe, or just the big moment, and he obviously had Tyrone pressuring him, maybe that did tire him out. Because if Jake kept up his stamina for the whole fight, it probably would have been, I would say, it would have been a clear victory for him, but that's not what happened. So I'll get into that. Jake did very well for the first half by boxing, pretty much. He was doing boxing moves. He was keeping his distance, utilizing his jab and combinations from a good distance, and landing decent hard shots. Nothing crazy. But he was landing good shots. And then Woodley, on the other hand, was being very respectful of Jake's power, I guess, and his boxing skills, because he wasn't just rushing in and taking the fight to Jake right away. He was pressing the action from the very start of the fight to the end of the fight. He was the aggressor, and he was the guy moving forward. But he wasn't throwing that many punches for the first half of the fight. Pretty much for the whole fight, he wasn't really throwing that many punches. But I wouldn't say that he was, completely, scared or gun-shy to throw shots. Because when he did, he hurt Jake. And I just feel like he should have stepped on the gas more, because he could have got him out of there, in my opinion. I think he just respected Jake. I don't know. He was very calculated and cool, very calm. That's a good thing for Tyrone, but it's just I feel like he let the fight slip away when he didn't throw enough punches, or he didn't capitalize on Jake when Jake was clearly exhausted. His legs were terrible. You could see not much would have held him up if he got the ropes held him up. But not much. It wouldn't have took that much of a combination to lay out Paul, and I don't mean knock him out cold, but to at least drop him, just because he was exhausted. And I feel like if the viewer could see it, maybe he should have been able to sense it, because he's been in this game for 20 years, combat sports. You know when someone's tired. And I felt like he still respected Jake too much, even when he was tired and he was sloppy. But I guess maybe he was correct for doing that, because I thought Jake had no power left in his shots, and he surprised me in round 7 when he threw that overhand right. and connected. It was probably the best punch landed on a fighter in the fight. Like, I know the knockdown punch, that was a knockdown, by the way. The ropes saved Jake. And I feel like, isn't it in the referee rule book, when the ropes help you from going down, that's a knockdown. If the ropes keep you from going down, that's a knockdown. So that should have been a knockdown. But, like, that was a good shot, but it wasn't as, like, flashy. It wasn't as clean as, like, the Jake overhand right was just, the sweat just came off his chin and everything. Like, it was a perfect shot. It was the one that he landed on Ben pretty much, but he landed it under pressure. But Tyrons got a good chin. It didn't affect him. Like, so I know, like, the best punch of the fight was probably that one by the way it looked, but obviously the best punch, like, that did damage was Tyrons' punch when he knocked Jake down pretty much. But just the way Jake's punch landed, that's how you know, that's a good sign that he keeps his power. At least we know he keeps his power for 6 rounds. We know that. That was my questioning going into the later rounds. I'm like, okay, he looks very tired. His legs, like, not there. He looks kind of sloppy. He's breathing hard. Does he have any pop left in his shots? He proved me wrong. He's got pop left in his shots, and maybe that's why Tyrone wasn't fully just going in there and taking him down. But I'm just gonna drink some of my tea here. Take a little pause here, guys. Relax a bit. Yeah, so the two things that I thought went wrong for both fighters that could have sealed the deal, because I believe there should be a rematch because there wasn't a clear winner in this fight, in my opinion. Now, if Jake got knocked down and the ropes didn't save him, I feel like he would have been the clear winner by 1 point. Like I said, I didn't score with a paper and pen, but from what I've seen, Tyrone took control of the second half of the fight. I think Jake got maybe 1 round in the second half, but Tyrone took control. He landed the more effective punches when Jake wasn't landing cleanly anymore, really. And he was more of just backpedaling instead of boxing. So I thought if the ropes didn't save him and the ref didn't call it a knockdown, I feel like if the ref called that a knockdown, it would have been a draw, maybe. But who knows? The scorecards were kind of fucked up. They had Jake way ahead on one of them, so I think 2 points for either guy is fair. But I'm saying, say if Jake wasn't near the ropes and he clearly got dropped on the canvas, I feel like that would have mentally changed the minds of people seeing that image of Jake on the ground. So that would have been a clear winner for Tyrone there. Like, you would be like, oh yeah, he got dropped, so he hurt him. So if nothing else changed, but Jake fell down from that shot in the middle of the ring, that would have been a clear winner in my opinion. But that's not what happened. Jake stayed on his feet. He showed heart. You got to give him respect there. He showed heart. So the two things that went wrong the one thing that went wrong for both fighters that could have sealed them a guaranteed clear victory, because I don't think no one has the bragging rights yet. On paper, Jake can brag, but I really, in the eyes of me and a lot of people, there needs to be a rematch, because there wasn't really a definitive answer to this fight. So Tyrone, what went wrong with him? He didn't let his hands go enough when he had Jake hurt. I know it happened at the end of the round for that one shot, so okay. But when Jake was clearly tired and he was landing shots on Jake, he was still throwing like a 1-2 combinations. He was going for the knockout punch, when really he should have been trying to land combinations and get inside and just rough him up, because Jake's legs weren't there anymore. You know what I mean? Jake was tired and exhausted. You don't need to land one big knockout punch. It will come. Just set it up. So get inside, throw the jab, throw combinations. Maybe one of them lands and hurts him because his legs aren't there. So that's the one thing that went wrong for Tyrone, is he didn't go for the kill when he probably could have got the kill. And I know, like, yeah, it was in danger of Jake maybe land a right, but Jake did land a right, and it didn't knock him down, right? He took it pretty well. So I feel like he could have taken all Jake's right hands, especially since Jake didn't have his legs there. So that's the one thing that went wrong with Tyrone. Not that he didn't throw enough, but he didn't throw enough when Jake was clearly exhausted and hurt. That's the key moments, because he was very smart about it, and I don't blame him for being more conservative as at the start of the fight, but the second half he should have pressed him more. And then Jake, on the other hand, the one thing that let him down, that he could have probably won the fight more clear, is if he didn't run out of stamina. His stamina was an issue, and like I said, I'm being a critique of both fighters, but they both performed very well considering the circumstances. A YouTuber who just started boxing 3 years ago is fighting an MMA champion that knows how to punch. So you got to give him respect there. And he's never fought more than 2 rounds ever in a real professional fight, where Woodley has. But this was Woodley's first boxing match, so you got to give respect to Woodley there. So both guys did well, but critiquing them, Jake needs to work on his stamina. I feel like maybe the right hand that Woodley landed, because Woodley landed a couple good right hands that were very clean and heavy. You could tell he's got power. Maybe that did hurt Jake, and he didn't fully recover, but I think it was more of a stamina issue, because I don't think Tyrone landed that many body shots, really, and I don't think a headshot would zap you with that much strength like that, but it would take something out of you. But it looked like more of a stamina issue, and he's just not used to fighting that long in front of a crowd with a champion fighter coming at you, pressing you the whole night. Like, the pressure gets to you mentally and physically, and I think it felt like that drained Jake. So, going into the rematch, Jake, if he works on his stamina, he can get the win more clearly. Tyron Woodley, though, on the other hand, can get the win, but I don't think he's going to win by decision. He's got to knock him out, I feel like. And I feel like if Woodley presses the action more, and I feel like Woodley will take it more seriously in the rematch. Now, both guys have the opportunity to get better in the rematch. And I'm going to say this, physically, Jake is going to be better in the rematch. Mentally, Tyrone's going to be better in the rematch. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Tyrone, going into this fight, he's underestimating Jake. Everyone is. Why wouldn't you not underestimate Jake? Like, it's just a natural thing. You're a UFC champion. You don't respect this guy as much. Of course you don't. So why, even though you're training hard, it's not the same as when he was fighting other UFC killers out there and stuff like that. It's not the same. Because, you go into a Jake Paul fight, you look at him like, okay, he's a good boxer at the local gym, but he's not a world beater. He's not. So you go into that with that mindset. So I feel like now going into the rematch, Tyrone's going to know what Jake's about. Okay, this kid actually can compete with me. Now I'm going to not underestimate him. I can't, in the back of your head, or self-consciously, you're not gonna well, I can't talk right now. So I think it's self-consciously, or in the back of your head, you're not gonna underestimate him. I said that 10 times. But you know what I'm saying though, guys? You can say I don't underestimate this guy, but really you do. You're training hard, but in the back of your head, this is Jake Paul. This isn't, I'm going to win this. Or just like Pacquiao going to the Ugas fight, right? Thinking, oh, he's Ugas. He's not as good as Spence. So mentally, you're not as prepared for that. And I feel like this time around, Tyrone is going to be like, this guy can compete with me. I'm going to give it everything I have, because I have to, because it was a close fight. If he takes it like that, but if he takes it if he takes it oh, I easily won this fight, I don't need to change anything, then that's a bad thing. But I think he's going to rewatch the fight and know that he has a legitimate argument to believe that he won the fight. In my opinion, you could have gave it to him. Like I said, you could have gave it to either guy by a point or two. But he's got to take Jake more seriously, and I think he will this time. Jake, on the other hand, physically, he's going to be better prepared. Mentally, though, I don't think he'll be better prepared, really. Because Jake has always had the mental edge going into these fights. And the reason why I say this is because he's the ordinary man coming from YouTube, ordinary guy, right? Not an athlete, coming into this. And so everyone's going to underestimate him. Well, he's going to look up to these guys and be like, I need to be at my best. I need to train like I'm fighting like Mike Tyson every time. And that's why Jake performs like that. Whereas these other guys are looking down on Jake, being like, oh, he's nowhere near my level. I'm just going to go in here. You know what I'm saying, guys? So I feel like mentally, Tyrone can be better prepared for this fight if he takes Jake serious now. And Jake can be better physically prepared for this fight. Because he knows maybe he can't knock out Woodley if he doesn't pick up his game. So who do I think won the fight? Like I said, it could have been. I would have been better with a draw, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Just because that was a knockdown. The ropes did hold him up. Other than that, though, like I said, 1 or 2 point for either guy is fine. Rematch, though, is in order. Or by another thing I got to say, like, you got to give credit to both guys. This was Tyron Woodley's first boxing match ever. And this was Jake Paul's first 8-round fight with a UFC champion. So, like, you got to give Jake respect. And I think the reason why I don't like giving him respect, and a lot of people probably don't, in my opinion, the reason why I don't like giving him respect, I still give him respect for what he's doing, but it's just he's just an annoying brat, the way he acts. Like, even after the fight, the way him and his brother were talking, like, oh yeah, you're old news, like, and they didn't want to give him a rematch. Like, what are you doing, Logan, in the back like that? Like, little weasel, you know what I mean? But I don't know if that was planned. Maybe that was planned, and that's just the way they, like, that was all set up. But if it wasn't set up, then it's just like, you guys are pieces of shit then, the way you act. Like, come on. But anyway, that's what I have, guys. Like the video if you like it, and let me know if you want to see a rematch. I'm down for it. I want to see a rematch.